Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and keep watching more details. 12 huge Emmerdale spoilers for next week. In next week's Emmerdale, Tom's trial begins as Belle disappears. Meanwhile, Amelia decides to leave the village, and Will's plans fall apart. Here are the 12 big moments to watch. You can also check out our collection of 22 spoiler pictures from these episodes. There's chaos at the prison in Tom's cell, and soon word spreads back in the village that Tom has been rushed to hospital after trying to take his own life. With Tom due in court, the Dingle family all wonder whether the case will go ahead and try to support Belle through this terrifying time. Belle begins to question whether she can really go to court and testify against Tom. Scared that she'll be blamed for his death, Belle begins to spiral. She visits Patty to try and make sense of Tom's suicide attempt, but will Patty give her the advice she needs, or will he make her even more confused? Charity breaks into Tom's hospital room for a surprise visit and confronts him. Urging him to admit that his suicide attempt was fake, Charity hopes an admission of deception will derail the court. However, Tom soon realizes that Charity's arrival must mean that Belle is having doubts about her testimony. On the day of the court case, Belle leaves her family a note and disappears. The Dingles spring into action, while Tom is preparing to give his best performance in court. The barrister admits that without Belle, it will be a struggle to convict Tom. When the smug abuser realizes Belle hasn't turned up, he's pleased to see his hard work has paid off. The jury gathers and Tom takes center stage as the trial begins. After experiencing Tom's true colors, Amelia decides she wants a fresh start away from the village. Emmy throws her a last-minute leaving party, but Amelia is heartbroken when Carrie doesn't show up. Will she leave the village without saying a proper goodbye to the woman who was her surrogate mom for so many years? Meanwhile, Daz Spencer returns for one episode as part of Amelia's exit story. Kim is overjoyed when Dawn agrees to attend her and Will's vow renewal, and she's even happier when her stepdaughter agrees to move back into home farm. There's even more good news for Dawn when the doctor reveals that Evan might be home in time for Christmas. Will's sinister plan begins to fall apart when Kim reveals she has invited the whole family to the vow renewal. He also panics when Kim tells him that Dawn, Billy, and the kids are considering moving back in, and when Dawn arrives with her belongings, he does his best to stop her from moving in. Dawn's plans for a happy reunion at home farm are all squashed when Billy refuses to move back in. But when Jai puts pressure on them to move out of Holdgate within the week, Billy still refuses to go back to home farm. Aaron is unimpressed when John invites him on a camping trip as a surprise. However, during their trip they open up emotionally and their connection deepens. After John makes a gesture, the pair confess their love for each other. Following on from his split with Brenda, Eric is struggling alone. When Carrie realizes that Eric is unable to do his housework, she offers to give him a hand. But when Brenda overhears them upstairs, she gets the wrong end of the stick in a mortifying way. Since April learned the truth about her mother's death from Ross and discovered that her dad had been lying her whole life, she has been breaking boundaries at home. Next week, Marlon is in distress because his well-behaved daughter suddenly has a rebellious streak that he can't control. A year on from his son's tragic death, Bob decides to hold a special event in Heath's memory. As his son loved music so much, Bob begins to organize a carol concert for the village to remember Heath.